Kelly, how does it feel not just to be the star of a Game Boy game, but now the mascot of a burgeoning franchise of retro games?
It's what I deserve, Mike. I think we all knew it's not if it was when. And it's taken, frankly, a bit longer than it should have, but I deserve it. That's my
Over the years, were you looking at Mario and Sonic and you were just like, I could do this better?
amateurs. Yeah. Just I kind of view them as Kelly wannabes. And it was like even though I wasn't around to want to be, that's what they were ahead of their game wannabes. So the wannabes nonetheless.
Makes sense. I mean, that's exactly if I were the star of a game like Slapdash, that's how I would see it as well. And of course, for anybody out there listening who hasn't played it yet, we have a game out and we've dabbled a little bit in doing some stuff for fun. Kelly has a really cool platformer game that he made. I did some not impressive to some people, Commodore 64 text-based stuff. But we have a full video game that is a Game Boy game. It's playable on Game Boy. You can download the ROM. There's links. Download the ROM totally for free. This is a totally legal ROM for real because we are giving it to you. Throw it in your emulator, and you guys are gonna have a good time. It's a simple game. It's pretty straightforward. It is an endless runner style game, so it's about getting the high score. It's about running up the score as high as you can. You are Kelly, freshly out of a concert, being chased by security and dogs, still pounding beers though, and trying to get away. Of course, Kelly, as we all know, has a penchant for slapping people at concerts. So that's the only backstory you need to know going into Slapdash.
Welcome back, Lycounter. We missed you.
But that's all you guys need to know. But the game I think is fun. I think history will bear out one of the greatest of all time. But we're not going to stop there. No, we've already brought you Slapdash, and not only did we bring you Slapdash, but we brought you Boggon from Kelly himself as the soundtrack to the game. But Kelly and I think it's fair to say, we both came up PC gamers as well as console and arcade guys. And with PC games, before DLC was the commonplace now, PC games would often have expansion packs that would give you extra levels or things you could add to the game. And we were trying to think of how we could do that to Game Boy because Game Boy really doesn't lend itself to that. It's not exactly, an expandable form of technology. But I had the idea of, Halloween is coming. What if we could do a special holiday reskin of the game? So that has led to so much more fun for you guys. Um, Starting with Slapdash Spooky Season, and there's the cover image for that, which I'd already shown to Kelly. Kelly, how did you feel when I told you there was going to be a Halloween reskin of Slapdash?
Pretty much the way I felt after the first game was sprung on me.
So energized, excited, ready to take on the
Those are
world.
two words that begin with E. I don't know if that was the letter that the feeling began with. Um, no, but I think uh, I like the cover art. Good looking guy. So, uh, you always do a nice job with the graphics. So that part was good. But I mean, I should have been able to piece it together. That this would be the road to go down. But I hadn't. But definitely, if I happen to be trapped in a game against my will, I want a Halloween version of it. So that's a definite.
So it's gonna, and again, this is built off of the same game. This is just kind of, and again, this is free. I'm giving this to you guys, so you're gonna get some extra content there. But why stop there, as Kelly would say? Why would we stop there?
Your punctuation, you're missing the punctuation. It's why question mark. Stop there! Exclamation point.
No, no, no. Why stop there, as Kelly would say? we're not just going to give you a Halloween reskin. We're also going to give you a Christmas reskin. Now, I can't share too much about that yet, beyond the title, because we don't have a cover for it yet. So that doesn't have a cover image to show you yet. But I promise it's going to be awesome. I already know what I'm doing for it. So it's going to be great. And that is Slapdash War on Christmas. Now, Kelly, when you heard that this one was coming, what was your first thought?
Um, I'm hopeful that I'm not injuring any beloved or religiously held characters in the game. I'm not like jumping over mangers or something like that. I would prefer that not be the case. But although I guess jumping over them would be better than um,
Trampling
smashing,
them?
slapping them. So
Oh, there's a missed opportunity.
yeah,
Kelly's slapping baby Jesus.
yeah,
There's always the future,
that's right.
Kelly. Now, and in a year or so, when that game comes out, remember this episode, folks, where Kelly gave me this idea, his contribution to that edition of Slapdash. And I know what you guys are thinking. Wow, that's amazing. You guys gave us this incredible game, and you're going to give us two holiday themed reskins. You couldn't possibly do more. We are. We're doing more. I don't know if you saw this coming by my dramatic pause, but there's another one coming. Kelly, can you guess what that is?
It wouldn't be a guess because you've tuned me in. So um, I would I would venture to say, boy, if you really establish this strong Game Boy platform positioning with all these fine titles for the classic Game Boy, wouldn't it be interesting if there was maybe a more, I don't know, shall we say, colorful version that was implemented? Would I be close if I'm asking about that?
Oh, you would, sir. That's right. The original version of Slapdash is being ported to Game Boy Color. And we're just collectively calling these four titles Slapdash Phase 1. So just like the Marvel universe, there's the Slapdash universe, or the Slapaverse, if you will. And this is going to be Phase 1. Calling this Phase 1 because these are all kind of built off of the same core game, that original Slapdash game. Two of them are just reskins, and one is a port over to Game Boy Color. So it's all kind of built off of that same foundation. So not to be confused with the future title, Slapdash 2 Electric Panda Boogaloo, which will be coming. So now that Slapdash, though, even, ports and reskins and all this with an eventual proper sequel, this is becoming a franchise. Where would you, as the star and composer of this franchise, where would you like to see this go in the future?
Well, I think clearly crossover is the way to go. That obviously the Slapaverse has to merge or connect with another universe. And if there was only potentially some universe out there that it could. Oh, wait, there is. I don't know if you've heard in the past, folks. Dr. Fib is a game that is underneath development. That will be a game where there's, as we all know, Mike likes to pretend he's a doctor because he bought a doctor's office and
I'm
thinks
a
that
doctor, Kelly.
a real estate transaction equals a medical degree. And so I think we need games that reinforce that that's not the case. So Dr. Fib, which will be an interesting game to go. I am because I'm willing to put in the effort. Mike's effort ends by okay, my credit card's out. No, I'm paying someone to do something for me. I'm going to toil myself to try and use the Game Boy game creator and create the original version of Dr. Fib. Although, after I get into it for a little while, given my past coding talents were middle, barely adequate at best, I might need some contact information from you to talk to that
Absolutely.
real developer. But yeah, so I think where I'd like to see it go is I'd like to get going on the Fibiverse because it's got a lot of ground to make up. And and once it does, then I'd like to see a crossover.
Now, moving forward, is there any platform? Because now this is the first port It's moving from, Game Boy to Game Boy Color, kind of a lateral move, but still it's a port to a different, slightly different platform. Where else would you like to see Slapdash go, just as a series as far as platforms?
Well, the Bog Boy, if we can get our manufacturing is under control, obviously a Virtual Boy port would be awesome on the Bog Boy if we could get that bad boy out. But since I'm not really counting on our expertise pulling that off anytime soon, I, it's been odd. A lot of the videos that we do that get the most views of the videos we do tend to be around the Nintendo 64. And it's been kind of fun, getting back into that a lot more as we've done some of these shows. And Mike's building up a steady collection, including his Warrior 64 that I was too slow on the trigger to get, but I'm going to keep looking. So I think a 64 cartridge done in 007 blue would be pretty sweet for Slapdash.
Yeah, I think for me, kind of the ultimate goal of where I'd like to see this go, I would love to see it ported to NES, and then 16-bit versions would be great at some point. But I think the ultimate goal for me is a Nintendo 64 Slapdash. I think Slapdash 64 is really going to be the top of the mountain for this franchise because we want to keep it retro. We want to keep this stuff that's playable on original hardware. Now, we did run into a little bit of a snag. My plan was to get physical cartridges made of Slapdash, and so far that has not worked out. I'm not an expert on PCBs and stuff like this, so please accept my incredibly dumbed down explanation of this. But there were different PCBs that were used for the different eras of Game Boy. And in the earlier days, it was smaller cartridges. There was a specific type of PCB they were using that if you were going to do any kind of effects like the parallax effects and saving high scores and things like that, that our game does, you had to use a workaround of using memory bank swapping, which I can't explain to you, but I'm sure you can Google it. And we actually didn't use GB Studio for this, which is I'm learning a little bit on GB Studio, but I really wanted to get this game done for Kelly's birthday this year as a surprise for him. So there was no way I was going to be far enough along to make that happen. So that's why I reached out to a real programmer and we got a little team together and made this happen. But through doing that, they programmed this game from scratch. So they took all the images I sent them and laid everything out, and they programmed it all into the game from scratch. So not using GB Studio, and they did it a very old-fashioned way of using memory bank swapping and stuff, which is cool and it has really impressed everybody that I've sent it to understands this stuff. But it's made it really difficult to find a way to get these onto physical cartridges because the flash carts that are available from different places that we've contacted who can flash the game for us onto a PCB and put it in a shell, throw a label on there so that we can have physical cartridges for not just ourselves, but some to share with you guys as well. Those use later Game Boy PCBs that don't work with this type of a game. So there's still, I have a couple of feelers out at places, but my expectations are low. I'm going to be honest, like I don't have really high hopes for that. It's just, trying. But recently I was looking into EverDrive cartridges, which are available for most platforms now. And essentially it's a cartridge that you put a micro SD card into that you already have your game ROMs on. And from what I'm reading on the manufacturer's website, it does work with games that were programmed for those PCBs. So this is a way to play this on real hardware. So as of the time we're recording this tomorrow, I ended up ordering a Game Boy because I don't actually Kelly has a Game Boy. I don't have an actual Game Boy currently. So as of the time that we're recording this tomorrow, a Game Boy should be coming, and you should see a review of that because there are really, as we've talked about on a couple of shows, very expensive options for Game Boys out there, in the $300 to $500 range. Many of them now, including the new analog aluminum, which is $500. Crazy, crazy stuff. Stone Age Gamer has ones with really nice, backlit screens and stuff like that. Those were on sale for $300, regularly $350. The regular analog pocket is $250. It's just Game Boys are expensive. So I don't know what they're made out of. I assume it's like cocaine and beer is what they're made out of. But Game Boys are expensive, so I found one at a fairly decent price on Amazon through their renewed program where they're refurbishing games and systems and things like that. Um, I read the reviews, and honestly, the reviews are all over the place. So I have no idea what's coming tomorrow. Some people said they got something that looked brand new. They cleaned it so well and buffed out the screen, and it looked like it was. They went back in time and bought a Game Boy. Other people made it sound like they just got a box of broken plastic, essentially. So it could be anything that's here tomorrow. So hopefully that works. But if it does, I'm going to be getting one of these EverDrive cards, and hopefully I'll be playing the Slapaverse Phase One on real hardware, and you guys will be able to too, because obviously this will be a way for you to do it. So we'll let you know how all that works out. But either way, you're going to have you already have Slapdash. Slapdash spooky season's coming. A little bit later in the year, you're going to get Slapdash War on Christmas, and Slapdash is being ported to Game Boy Color. So we have tons of cool stuff for you guys because that's how great we are.
Yeah. Guess we're gonna have to update our website a little bit better to cover this expansive universe. But that'll be good. We'll get that done. We'll let you know when that happens too. Been a little while since we've dusted off any updates to that. So but yeah,
And
we'll
I
get
don't
it
know
all
about
out
you,
there.
and I have not said this to Kelly, so I'm spring this on him right now.
Super.
I think we need Kelly Tool and Slapdash figures.
Yeah, we can look into that. I think there's maybe some 3D printing options. The other, and I make no promises, but so again, I cannot stress enough how much this game is based on a lie. This game is based on a lie and a poor choice in me trying to find out a creative way to express a very short distance. And that was happened to be at a Bisto Blanco concert with fine Chuck Garrick and Calico Cooper and many others. Brother Latham, fine guitarist. Um, we're going to see them again soon here, and as we do for any Bisto Blanco one, I do the VIP pass, so there'll be a photo op. They're usually pretty available before the show, so if I can get Chuck to, to do a promo, I'm not going to burden them with a story, but just say, will you give us a promo, say, buy Slapdash or you try Slapdash? That'd be pretty cool. But I don't know. We'll see what we can pull off. I might also can just say, shut
Awesome.
up, Mike. So we'll see what we can do.
Either way, that would be awesome.
Yep, that'd be fun. But more than anything else, the concert will be great. New Bisto Blanco album actually comes out again. Well, when we're recording this, it'll probably already been out for a week. So be sure and check that out.
Yeah, and we have to go back and do the Bisto Blanco reviews as well.
Absolutely, 100%.
All right. Well, anything else you want to add to our Slapaverse update?
Nope, I established it's based on a lie. I think it's again very important,
Factual
but it's
story. Look it
cool
up.
stuff. I like it's fun, as most fiction can be. So it's good. Nope, I don't have anything else except thanks for watching, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Bog Panda.